Hi, and welcome everyone to PopCultX. I'm Gabriel. With me, as always, is Danny, and we are the hosts of PopCultX, pop culture news from a Gen X perspective. Welcome to episode 170. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. How are you, Danny?
I am well. I'm doing good. Everyone out there, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for liking, sharing, following. And if you haven't done so yet, go ahead and like and share. Hit that button right down there. Follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, all the social media platforms. Because, like I like to say, sharing is caring. So go for it. But I'm doing okay. I'm still watching with a close eye the LA fires.
Yeah.
And their devastating effect. So I don't know if people out there, if you're watching this and you're able to, consider supporting relief efforts, whether it be from donating to organizations like the Red Cross, volunteering, or just helping spread awareness. Any bit of that helps and makes a difference. So that's something that's been on my radar since it started. And it's just been quite devastating to see.
Yeah, it's really sad. It obviously is affecting pop culture because the news is everywhere and it's impacting, everyone. I mean, whether it be people in the entertainment industry, and it's having an impact on that as well. So, like you said, if you are able to help, please go out and help and do what you can.
Absolutely. And another thing I saw in pop culture news today, when we're recording this, I saw that David Lynch passed away.
Yeah, that's really sad. I saw that today at work.
Which is kind of sad. I mean, for me, I know other people have more of, it means more to them because I only saw, I think, maybe one or two of his films.
Yeah.
Which would be like, I saw probably half of Mulholland Drive, and then, what's the other one? Lost Highway.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched Lost Highway mainly because Nine Inch Nails did like some of the music for it.
Yeah.
Like The Perfect Drug, I think, was from there.
Yeah.
But I know other people have more of a connection to his work. I know his work was really out there and very a distinct point of view, I guess, is a good way to put it. Yeah. So that was really sad to see that.
It was really sad to see another person that passed that is, was creating good things and putting good things out into the world and entertainment universe. And we're gonna obviously have a big space is going to be missing from him.
Absolutely. Another one that passed, and they always seem to come in. What is it? They come in threes, right?
Yeah.
Is that what the whole myth is or whatnot? So the second one that I saw today that passed was Bob Uecker, the baseball announcer from movies. You might remember him from the movie Major League, where he's like just a bit outside, from the announcer. That's where probably the crossover to pop culture where he comes in from. But he was a longtime baseball announcer, player. So that one really hit a little bit more closer to my house, my home, because I'm a big fan of baseball, big fan of the movie Major League. And so just hearing that, I was like, oh, well, that sucks. But he led a long, colorful life, and I'm glad I got to enjoy his commentary while I did. And while it's sad that it happened, I'm glad that he was around for us to enjoy.
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully there's not like a number 3.
Right. It's like, okay, who's next?
Yeah. I was going to say something really mean and be like, well, if there is a number 3, maybe it'll be X, Y, or Z, but that's not nice.
Well, we can hope for TRU, right? But that's maybe a little too wishful thinking on my part. Anywho, I did see something unrelated to people's dying that was really cool. That I saw the and it's the trailer was released for Daredevil Born Again, the new series that's getting released on March 4th on Disney Plus, and it looks fantastic. I'm not sure if you had a chance to see it or not.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, you need to go watch it. It looks so. Of course, Daredevil. Charlie Cox is reprising the role. It looks like John Bernthald's coming back as the Punisher. He's looked like he was in prison. He had like a long beard, and it looked really cool. The fight scenes looked like they came right straight from like the Netflix version of it. So it looks pretty gruesome, pretty violent, which is, different than what Disney Plus normally does, because they touted Echo. I don't remember when the show Echo came out. It's, oh, that's gonna be our most violent one, but it wasn't that bad at all.
Yeah.
So we'll see how this goes. But if the trailers are any indication, then it's gonna be pretty gruesome.
Yeah. I've never really been a big fan of Daredevil, like
It's
as
okay.
comic book. Um, so like I'm interested to get into it because I know he's really popular, but it wasn't really necessarily one of my favorites.
That's I know because he was a street level guy. I get it. I know what you're saying.
Uh,
But it looks really good. I mean, Kingpin's coming back, of course, played by, oh goodness, what's the actor's name?
D'Onofrio.
Yes, D'Onofrio. Thank you, Vincent D'Onofrio. Just zoom went over my head. But yeah, and he like is like the perfect casting for that character.
He
So
really is.
I can't wait to see what he's gonna do. And he looks like he's playing the Mayor Fisk role, which in the comic book run with that's pretty exciting, pretty fun. So I'm really curious to see what they're gonna do with that.
Yeah.
Um, I also saw that Severance season 2 was released today on Apple Plus, and I'm not sure if you watched season 1 or not, but it's a really interesting show. So I'm curious to dive into season 2. Adam Scott, I don't know if Patricia Arquette is reprising her role or not, but I know she was one of the producers on season 1, so I'm looking forward to that.
There's someone else that's in season two that I was really surprised to see. Did they add a character or like another actor come in to play in season two?
They
I
probably did. I
I
haven't.
saw someone that I was like, oh, that's really cool.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. I didn't really watch any of the trailers or follow any of the info other than when they put out, oh, we're making a season 2. So
Yeah.
I just wanted to be surprised.
I want to say it was a female actress, and I was like, oh, that's really cool. And then but I can't remember who it was. Oh, well, I'll have to check it out.
Well, let me take a look. Anything new come out today or recently that you saw or that are interested in seeing?
I still haven't seen Nosferatu, which I've
Mm.
been really wanting to see since Christmas. But then of course I got sick and yada yada yada. Uh, we did go and see the last Showgirl with Pamela
Oh,
Anderson.
okay. How was that?
I was not expecting it to be as good as it was. I thought like, oh, it's gonna be good. It's like we'll go watch it, but it was like a really good movie. It's um the visuals of it are really good. It's like the way it's filmed is really kind of ethereal and very film analog, and she looks great. Jamie Lee Curtis is great in it. So yeah, it's a really good film.
Okay.
It's a really good character that basically is an older showgirl who is in a show that is about to close, and basically where's her life going to go from there,
Mm.
all her friends and her family, etc. But really interesting, obviously filmed in Las Vegas, and it's really, I really recommend it. It's really good.
I think if I remember correctly, it gave me when I was watching like the trailer for it, a lot of vibes of like the movie The Wrestler with Mickey Rourke.
Okay. Yeah, I
So
never saw.
oh, okay. Yeah, it had like that similar, like you said, the grittiness, the almost like the handheld camera type feel.
Yeah.
So, so interesting. I want to see it. Sounds good. I
I'm
heard she's
sure that the director is, because it's Gia Coppola is the
okay.
director. Yeah. And she did a fantastic job in directing it. It's really good.
Okay, that sounds cool. I mean, I want to watch it. I mean, I've heard Oscar buzz worthy for the actresses and for the director. So
Yeah.
very cool.
Yeah.
I finally saw Wicked, if that
Oh no,
makes.
that is
And I thought it was really good. Yeah, I thought it was really good. I enjoyed Ariana Grande's performance immensely.
yeah.
Now, you've seen the stage production. Right? I know you don't remember it much, but you've seen it. Maybe you can help me figure this out. did Grande's like the hair flipping thing, was that created by her for the film, or did that come out of the stage production?
I think that's out of the stage production.
Okay. Okay, that's what I was wondering because that was funny. That made me laugh. I don't know why it made me laugh so much. I
Yeah,
just remembered whenever she did that, it reminded me of Will and Grace
yeah,
when Jack was doing his Cher impersonation. He
yeah,
would do that same sort of hair toss, and I was just laughing about that so much. It just, yeah, it was a
yeah. I think that came out of Kristen Chenoweth portrayal.
okay. And it was cool seeing Kristen Chenoweth and Idina Menzel in the film as the two, musicians or performers when they get to the Oz itself. So
Yeah,
Emerald City. So that was fun. That was pretty cool. First, it took me a moment to realize who they were. Then it dawned on me. Oh, that's right, the
yeah,
originators of it. So I thought that was pretty cool.
yeah. It was really cool cameo.
Yeah, yeah, and the lead actress Cynthia, what's her last name?
Nope.
Yes, she was really good, really powerful and intentional with their song delivery and everything. I thought she did a great job. Of course, I don't have anything to base it on, but it was, or to base it against, but it was really well done. I really enjoyed it. I'll watch it a second time. Looking forward to part two when it comes out.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm excited for that. And yeah, that was what I've been up to since last week.
Well, there was something else that had kind of caught my attention in pop culture news. I heard an interview of Wendy Williams on the Breakfast Club radio show, and she's in the middle of a conservatorship battle, very similar to like Britney Spears.
Really?
So it was really interesting because she would basically came on the radio to plead her case, which was really sad. People may, obviously know Wendy Williams as a very iconic radio
Talk
uh,
show host, yeah.
and then also a talk show host. And she for whatever reason got in this conservatorship and now can't get out of it,
Wow.
and is basically prisoner, according to her words, in this apartment that has like one window. And she's like in bed all day and like can't do anything. Has a phone that like only she can call out, but you can't call in. Um, it's very kind of scary to imagine that can happen to someone. And she has, I think she said she had like $15 that the rest of her money is being controlled. And
Whoa.
yeah, so it's definitely like a free Britney Spears moment, but like free Wendy Williams. Um, it obviously like no one can judge someone based off of an interview to be able to be say like, oh, they're cognizant and they're within their abilities to control their finances or whatever. But certainly they need to reevaluate her status and her situation, in order to make sure that it's not she's not being taken advantage of.
Yeah.
Because as of now, it certainly sounds very suspicious of what's going on. It was a very sad interview because at one point, like she even starts crying and saying like she may not be able to go see her dad for his birthday, and um, just really really sad, and just thinking that this happened to Britney Spears and now it's happening to her, and theoretically I guess it could happen to anyone.
That's interesting. How does that even come about? I mean, I get when a younger adult Britney Spears, when she got entered into it, she was young, all of a sudden had all this money, right? And still didn't make it right. But as an adult, I mean, she's older than us, I think, right? So
Yeah, she's 60, I think.
so how did she get placed into that? What was it? I wonder what the circumstances were around that to create that concern. That's
Yeah.
trippy.
Well, there's a lot of allegations that are like rumors that have been put out that there are reasons that she was put in or placed under a conservatorship, but she denies those allegations and wants to have her situation reevaluated.
Yeah,
So,
I mean,
I
it befuddles me. It's like she she's not allowed to make her own mistakes. She can't live her life the way she wants. It's like who are anyone else to tell someone, "Oh, you can't do that with your own money."
yeah. Well, I mean, there obviously are situations where people have, conditions where they shouldn't be in charge, or they can't be in charge of their own decision making process for safety reasons. Um, and they want the court system wants someone else to be in charge of it for their best interest. But that's what the argument is now, is has that gone from her best interest to now is she being taken advantage of? So it'll be interesting to see what transpires moving forward.
Does that only happen to people with money? Because I don't know. It seems like those people who are less fortunate, I guess, the courts don't care about what happens to them, right? So
Well, I mean, you do have a lot of guardianships and people that like take care of their adult children that are, you know, in need. So I know of that, but it's certainly the ones that get, put in the media or
yeah,
pop culture are the ones that are people who are famous.
yeah. Okay, that makes sense. I guess. I
Yeah.
guess. I don't know. It's just still weird to me.
Yeah, it definitely is interesting. They did question her about I apparently she got fired from a radio station from in New York because of allegedly because of Puff Daddy. And they asked her, like, what do you think? And she was like, it's about time. From all the things that she quote knows, he's going to end up in jail and deserves to be there. So that was also kind of an interesting moment on the interview.
Mm.
So it'll be, that case in itself is something that we're going to be hearing more of in the
Oh
future.
yeah.
And it's very I don't know what the word would be, juicy or
I think juicy is gonna be a good word for it because that's when all the stuff starts, being revealed in testimony and everything, and it's just gonna be, ooh, yeah, I don't know. That's
going
gonna
to be a
be
lot.
gonna be a lot. Yeah, it is. We'll have episodes on episodes about just that.
Yeah. Yeah, I also saw that they released a Barbie doll of Aaliyah on her birthday, and it sold out.
Oh, wow.
And um, it made me think, like, if there was a collectible or an action figure, a doll, whatever, what have you, of someone that is famous, who would it be that you would want?
Ooh. I'm glad you asked this. Too bad you're not asking it next episode when we're going to talk about collectibles. But who would
This
I
is a
want?
precursor.
What's that?
This is a precursor to
Yes, a
that.
precursor. A way to make me think of who would I want. I would
Do you
like.
have something?
I don't really have many collectibles.
Yeah.
I don't really collect collectibles, but if I were to, I think I would want what's his name? Brandon Lee as the Crow.
Okay.
That would be because back when that came out in 1994, that's what I wanted to be for Halloween. Like everyone else, I think that's
Yeah.
I wanted that aesthetic. I wanted that look, that feel, that vibe. I just thought it was so cool. So even today, yeah, I think I'd go with that.
All right. Very cool.
I used to collect baseball figurines, and they were called, oh, I forgot the name of them. They were popular back in the day. They probably still are, where it's just like the batter swinging or the pitcher pitching. And
Yeah,
I
I
used to
remember
have
that.
a lot of those. So, but I think I
Yeah.
grew out of that phase. I don't know.
Yeah. I still have, I mean, I am a collectible person. I have a lot of collectibles. I have I mean, more than I could mention, but I think that one of my favorites was when I was little, I had a Mr. T,
Oh,
and
nice.
that was
Okay.
pretty cool.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean,
I, I would have still had him. That'd be kind of really cool.
are we including like the wrestling figures and stuff like that? Because I used to have like my Iron Sheik, Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant type stuff,
Yeah.
and those were fun. I remember they were like molded plastic that were or rubber or whatever, but they were fun to play with.
Speaking of, did you see that Hulk Hogan got booed? Like,
I he's been on ever since he adopted like the whole right wing agenda. He's been on some uh roller coaster of a ride, and I don't have any sympathy for him in that
yeah.
regard. If he gets booed because he's just been out there.
Yeah, it was at a wrestling event. I don't know which one or where what, but he came out and expecting to hear like thunderous applause, and
Mhm.
whole crowd was just flipping him off and booing him. It was crazy.
That's
And
awesome.
I don't think that and it's not because of the conservative thing, because there are other conservative wrestlers that have come out and they were not treated that way. But I
Okay.
think it has more to do with like the footage of him admitting that he's like a racist
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
he's an N-word and like a bunch just crazy, crazy stuff.
Yeah.
And so like for that, he definitely deserves to get booed. Like a pie in the face is like apropos.
Yeah. Yeah. He's definitely going through it, as rightly so. So,
Yeah,
like I said, no sympathy for him right now.
yeah. Speaking of no sympathy, what was her name? Anita Bryant, I think. She just died. She was like the anti-gay not politician, but like anti-gay figure. She used to be like a singer or
The
from
name
like,
sounds familiar. Yeah.
yeah, well, she just died, so that's, good.
And that's all we need to say about that. And that's good. I like that.
No, it's funny that when someone dies that they're known for like their anti whatever stance, and
Hmm.
she's anti LGBT. Like that's how you want to be remembered, is like anti a group of people.
Right.
Like
Right.
crazy to me.
Right.
Like you're going to be known as an anti group of people forever.
Hmm.
That's what your legacy is.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah. Scary thing is she didn't have a problem with that. Right.
yeah, right?
Yeah. So that's the terrible thing.
Yeah.
But speaking of legacies, let's turn our eyes to our pop culture time capsule.
All right.
So I was coming up with ideas for the show, and I was like, okay, what's milestones? And so it's been 25 years since Y2K and the whole phenomenon around that and everything that sparked around the year 2000. So it made me think, what else happened in the year 2000, 25 years ago, now 25 years later, that if we were to open up a time capsule that maybe we buried in front of an elementary school, what would we find pop culture wise? What would we, or if we made it ourselves back in the day when we were younger, what would we have put in there?
Yeah.
And I think that's what I'm more interested in. It's like, what would you have put in there that you would want your future self to see or to remember and relive that whole nostalgia vibes?
Yeah.
So for me, the first thing I would put in there or would want to pull out from there would have been a PlayStation 2 that was released in the year 2000. And it was one of those gaming machines that just really amped up the home console game. So Sega Dreamcast had just released the year before. It was doing great. But then Sony released their version of that, next generation graphics at the time. And it just was mind-boggling the way it came out and the way games played and the way you made it was for me that shit was just everything in the year 2000.
Yeah. Is there a particular game that you played on there that was?
um well, the football Madden game was one. There was a game that didn't get released in the year 2000, probably one I played the most when it came out in the year 2001, was Gran Turismo, the driving game, the
Yeah.
driving simulator they called it. And it was just so much fun to just try out different cars that I would never ever get to drive. So just trying them out and having the feel and how they move differently, and they did their best to encapsulate the dynamics and the ergon or not ergon aerodynamics of the car, each car differently. So that was a lot of fun.
2000s, like I don't know the exact dates. I want to say that 2000 I was pretty deep into like my No Doubt musical phase, like listening to No Doubt.
Okay.
I can remember them singing It's the End of the World by REM on
Mm.
MTV on New Year's Eve,
Hmm.
like into 2000. So I'm pretty sure that that was like 2000s. So yeah, I would like have to say my No Doubt music collection.
Okay.
Um, did.
Yeah, I mean, music was great. I mean, what else music wise came out there in the year 2000? So Destiny's Child was a big hit back then.
Yeah,
What else was there? Linkin Park had their debut album, which I think really kicked off the hybrid rap and rock genre.
yeah,
Which we don't really think about them too much anymore, but they really were the pioneers of that, I think. couple that I didn't listen to were like NSYNC had their first album, Britney Spears had their Oops, I Did It Again album, and Eminem had his Marshall Mathers. So I didn't really listen to those, but they came out.
Yeah. A lot of influential music that not necessarily I didn't really listen to, but
Mhm.
yeah, some good music.
Yeah, and I think more importantly is music and the whole genre was Napster was really huge at that time, and that was like, of course, the precursor to what we now have as like Spotify or Amazon Music or Apple Music. It was like the first streaming service in its own regard where you could download the film. Of course, they went bankrupt after their lawsuits by Metallica and others, but that was the precursor. So the file sharing service of Napster was huge in 2000. I know I spent a lot of time on that.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember too. I think I remember like downloading some music, but not like as much as other people because I was scared that I was gonna get like raided and like put in jail.
I always thought about that too when I was doing it. I was like, but you know what? I'm not distributing it. Some people they download it, then they put it on CD and sell it and stuff, and I think that's who they went after. So I was
Uh,
just personal use.
yeah, I don't know. Metallica got to me. I was scared.
And I think that's one of the reasons I never liked Metallica too, personally, is it because they
Um,
went after individuals who were just, just people who like
kids.
music.
Yeah,
It's like, what's the difference between me hitting record on a cassette from the radio than downloading the music off of the internet?
quality.
Well, quality, yes, granted, but it's still the same concept, right? So, I don't know. That's in the past. We'll leave that there.
Yeah.
I know Survivor reality TV got its start in the year 2000,
Okay.
and so that was a huge thing that if we're going to TV real quick, that really stood out. I think did Big Brother start the same year, or was it just Survivor?
I'm not sure if they started the exact same year, but they started about the same time, I think.
Okay, so yeah,
Yeah.
the reality TV or the precursors to the competition reality TV type stuff really
Yeah.
got its beginnings in the year 2000.
Yeah. Survive was really big in Survivor when it first came out.
Yeah, I think like everyone else, it was because it was new, right? It was fresh. We hadn't seen that before, so I thought that was really cool to have all these people and their tribe, and they vote who's off the island. And yeah, that was fun. I remember that. I think I pull out the pin that says like I survived Y2K.
Oh yeah.
'Cause speaking of pop culture, so that was like probably the biggest thing, right? It's like I remember my wife Christina, she was working at Wells Fargo and they
Yeah.
had the we're Y2K ready pin, and that I was, computer savvy, I guess, or familiar with computers, so I knew about the potentiality of some systems going down, even though it was kind of like a letdown, nothing really happened.
Yeah.
It
People thought like planes were just gonna like fall from the
Yeah.
sky.
So, but that was probably one of the biggest pop culture things from the year 2000 or from 99 going into 2000.
Yeah, for sure.
That, yeah. Um, movie wise, X-Men was released in the year 2000.
Was it?
Yeah. Can you believe that? The first X-Men movie. So, I mean, that's Hugh Jackman's first take on Wolverine. So it's like crazy to think 25 years later, here he is still playing that character.
Yeah.
So, um, also, I think what I would pull out would be a DVD of The Matrix, which came out 99, but the DVD got released at the end of 99. So that definitely would have gone into my time capsule because I think it's one of those films that was ahead of its time, even to today. If you look at it and how it's even more relevant to kind of like the AI world we're living in, right? Where people are like, are we in a simulation now? Are we living in a simulation? Right? That's what the Matrix alluded to. And so that would be probably one of the things that would I would definitely pull out would be my Matrix DVD.
Right on. Yeah, I would agree with that.
I mean, book wise, I don't remember any books back then. I didn't really look that up either. So I looked up video
I
games
can't
and
really think
movies.
of like books of 2K like that. Nothing like comes out in my. from my head, like anything I read that in particular that year.
right? It's just, I think mainly movies for me. I mean,
Yeah,
um, what other movie? Like Crouching Tiger came out in the year 2000.
it's such
Bring
a
It
good.
On came out in the year 2000. And that's a movie that I think, I'll still watch that today if it's on because it's fun.
Yeah, it's a classic.
Yeah, so oh, Gladiator too. Not part two, but Gladiator came out
Yeah.
in the year 2000, which is another film I just saw recently, Gladiator Part Two. So, um, talk about a time capsule there, going back and I liked how in Gladiator Part Two, getting a little off topic here, how they basically retold the whole Gladiator One in like this animated style at the very beginning.
Oh,
I'm not sure
really?
if you've seen Gladiator Two yet or not.
I haven't.
Okay, you need to watch it. It's, I mean, there are some. I guess if you look online, read online, you'll see like there's a lot of historical inaccuracies.
Yeah.
But it's a film. I didn't really care about that. I mean, Ridley Scott did a great job of the epicness that he employed in the first part, brought it into the second part. Denzel did a great job um, as playing like the gladiator owner, I guess, but also with more ambition for something more. Which you once you see it, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, those are some of the movies that came out. Oh, Final Destination Part One came out also.
Oh, nice. That
So
that was a really interesting horror movie when it came out. The
yeah,
premise, there was something very different.
it was, and I think a lot of people now still won't drive behind a truck with like tree logs on it because of that film.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I
Let's
think
see.
if people just think of any way to die now, just like, oh, what if that falls and lands in the water of my bathtub? Like that, it's just like you think of every way that you can die now
Hmm.
because
Yeah, definitely. It's like, oh, well, if I wasn't meant to go, then maybe it'll catch up to me at some point.
yeah.
Oh man, so yeah, that's my time capsule for the year 2000. So hopefully everyone
What
out there.
I don't know why, I just remember that, but like Conan O'Brien when he used to do in the year 2000.
I was singing that all day.
No,
And he had the flashlight under his chin. He was like, "In the year 2000." Yeah, that is hilarious because he would do that with a bunch of different guests, and they would just go back and forth, and that was a lot of fun.
yeah,
So, if
no,
you're
no,
new to pop culture and you have no idea what we're talking about, go to YouTube and Google, or go to YouTube and search for Conan O'Brien year 2000, and you'll see what we're talking about. It's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
Speaking of which, out there, if you have anything that you would include in your time capsule, leave a comment. Let us know what you would include. I'd be curious to see that. Okay, so the second part of this episode is now we're packing up our time capsule for the year. Well, I would say 2025, but let's include 2024, the end of it, because 2025 just started. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't include anything that's happened so far in 2025 yet. It's just been really a real a mess of a year, I guess.
Yeah.
So, what would you include? We can include 2024, like I said. What would you include, or what would you bury, so that 25 years from now, could open it up and say, "Hey, wow, that was really cool from then."
Wow, that's a hard question because a lot of the music that I like from like last year is like classic stuff. Like it's not new stuff. So it would have to be like movies or books or like comics. Um, Trying to think of like what was the best comic of last year. Ultimate X-Men was pretty good.
Okay, uh,
Each Momoko,
yeah,
she did that. What else?
just
Movie?
include Deadpool Wolverine DVD or Blu-ray, and
Yeah,
and then people will trip out, be like, "Wow, wait, X-Men 2000, Hugh Jackman 2025, what's going on here?"
yeah, he doesn't die.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, I would include that for sure. Um, what else? I can't think of like what was my favorite book of last year.
I can't either. I don't know. That's why I was asking you because I had no idea.
Yeah, I don't know. What would you include?
Just the movie. I don't know if what. See, I don't think I read any books that came out in 2025. I think they were all released prior to that,
Yeah,
or 2024, I guess. I guess I would include some baseball cards. I've been really, I don't know how this happened, but I came across this video of someone opening a baseball card pack.
Uh-huh.
And all of a sudden, now my algorithm is showing me all these people unpacking or unboxing videos, right? So I'm like, what is this? But it's really fun to see them open up these pack and see all these rare cards that they're finding like one offs. So like, I guess now Tops, which is like the major baseball card um, company, I guess. And they do like exclusives 1 out of 1 or 1 out of 50. And if you find any of those, they're really rare and they're worth a lot of money.
Yeah.
So it's like it's just been fun with that. So I bought a pack of cards probably for the first time in like 30 years recently. So
Okay.
didn't have anything exciting, but it was just fun to remember that feeling of being a kid going to the baseball card shop and buying a pack of cards and getting home and popping in the chewing gum or whatnot. And so that was fun. I guess just for the nostalgia that I'd include a pack of cards for the year 2024, 2025.
Okay.
So,
Yeah. Maybe some of my like favorite variants of the year, like covers,
mm,
comic books that came out last year. I would throw those in there. See what was like popular when it came to like variant covers back in 2024 versus, again, it would be Peach Momoko, a lot of that, Maria Wolf. Um, yeah, I think that would be most of the stuff that I would put in there.
I think I'd include this guy right here, that one, my Jay Gonzo's Ghost Rider variant cover. So that's a real fun one.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, there's lots of stuff out there that I think we're missing, but stuff that's meaningful to us. I think we included that, we'd want to reopen in 25 years from now.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
Yeah. I put in Joker too.
Ooh, that'd be fun. Just
Just to piss people off.
that'd be cool. I mean, I can see that. Um,
It was a good movie. I don't
it
know why.
was. No, I agree. It was a really good movie. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I just had a thought of something that came out in the year 2000 as I was looking through my notes here. The Jennifer Lopez debuted her Versace dress that year for the Grammys,
All right.
and that moment was very unforgettable, I guess. So if you
Yeah, I
saw
think it
that,
was like the most Googled like thing that year.
yeah, yeah. I mean, if you saw that and you know what dress we're talking, if we say the dress, you know exactly, and you know what you're talking about. You know exactly. You could picture. You know exactly what we mean. I think I read a quote that David Duchovny said the first time he was 100% sure no one was looking at him.
Yeah.
I guess he was presenting with her. But yeah, that was a moment that I think would fit in well with the time capsule.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's our time capsule. Let us know out there what you guys have for your pop culture time capsule from 2000 and what you'd want to put in there this year to be opened up 25 years later.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I got for this episode. Anything else you have for us, Gabe?
No, just keep your eyes and ears out for anything that's cool and throw it our way. Any new bands, any new books, or anything like that. Let us know.
Absolutely. Well, that being said, thank you guys for tuning in, for liking and sharing. Please continue to do so, and we will see you all next time.
See ya.